So that's why it doesn't crack. But this one is a grizzly bear. And I mean, we've talked about this on here before. It's always worth sharing. But it was when we were at Glacier National Park, the first time I'd ever been.
2015, August.
Yeah, August 2015. Actually, I was fresh off the boat, fresh off the boat from Alaska.
But belugas coming on down.
Yeah, but anyway, we did the Hidden Lake hike. We had gone down the hike to the lake that year. And then we came up. We're coming, and when you're in national parks, the one thing you learn about is when you see people looking at stuff, stop and look, because there's a good chance you're going to see something. Now, you will get jackasses like us every now and then that just stop and pretend to look. But yeah, that's us being funny.
Well, speaking of grizzly bears, since it's my number 2, I like what you just said, where we stop and look. There was one time we were in Yellowstone, and I'm sorry to cut your story off.
Oh, you're fine. I mean, your 3 or my 3 and your 2 are the same, so we can share it.
That's what I figured. But we were in Yellowstone, and this I think was a grizzly bear. We were right there, right before you get to the Lamar Valley, closer to the river, and we saw him. It was just a little dot in like my rear view mirror. I was like, oh shit, that's a bear. So I pulled the car over, and we're the only car there. So we get out, we walk up this hill, and sure enough, a car comes right up to us. And, hey, you guys see anything? What you looking for? And that's what I don't like about tourists in Yellowstone, is a lot of them stop and ask you, regardless. I get it. Like, you see cars stopped, there's looking at something, so you want to look at it, but there's a line there, I think.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of times tourists cross that line where, it's like, oh, I'm just going to pull over because there's another car's pulled over. It's like, I get it, but yeah.
Yeah, and I know the time you're talking about, and It wasn't the best spot for a lot of cars.
No,
which would have happened once you tell one group, hey, there's something. Then
there's a time and place for it.
Yeah, there is.
And this wasn't it. So I just told Mark, I said, no, we're just taking pictures of ourselves with the mountains.
Yeah,
and they just like, oh, okay, we thought there was a bear over here. And like,
okay. There was, but wait.
But we wanted that moment for ourselves.
Yeah,
we were being selfish.
Yeah. But anyway, back to the actual bear encounter that we had this time. We see people pointing, and like well off in the distance, we see a bear up on this hill, and it's making its way down the hill. So we kind of engaged in it, but I mean, it's a ways off. So we're not like too excited about it. Still bears, still cool to see, but it's more like a little dot in the distance. But we're walking and we're kind of watching it as we make our way down. And there's one point where it's kind of close. And like, I don't know if it was me turning to you or you turning to me. And we're like, snap, it might like come down by the trail closer, down farther. And we're like the only people going down at this point. That's just happened to be luck. Everyone was heading to the lake. We happen to be heading from the lake. But we come, and then that we see that couple, and we're like, hey, we think a bear's going to pop out right over here. You want to come with us?
Yeah.
The couple was like, oh, hell yeah. And I mean, sure as shit. It came, like 30 yards from us, coming out, eating some grubs and stuff.
Yeah, he was just digging up bugs and all that. He appeared to be a boy. I believe he was a young, like maybe 2, 3-year-old, 4-year-old kind of male, because he wasn't a big grizzly bear.
No, he looked young.
But he looked young, and being alone like that and the way he looked male. There was a fire down by St. Mary's Lake, so I think that was kind of pushing him around, and that's why they were up there by Logan's Pass. And he walked right on the boardwalk. There's a
Yeah.
boardwalk in like certain places on that hike. They've installed boardwalks to make it easier for people to get up. He walked right in front of that, right by us. There's probably like 8 people around us when
Yeah.
across, because it was at like kind of a easier part of the hike, so people would do that. But he just kind of continued on his way. But there was a time when I thought he was going to put his paw down on that thing and just turn right for us.
Yeah, I mean, we were looking at him, and when he came towards the path, he was walking right at us for the path. Then we went up. We're standing by that couple, and that gal's just like, "You guys got bear spray?" And we're like, "No." She's like, "All right, we'll stay together."
No, and that's smart to have.
Yeah,
The only time I've ever heard about really grizzly turning on people, just like out of the blue, um, is in Cook City. Um, they have a grizzly bear that one night people were camping, and this is kind of one of the reasons they don't allow a lot of tent camping in that area anymore. It's hard shell only, and there's a grizzly bear, and she was with her cubs, and she went into a campground and killed like 4 people in one night, which is uncommon. And she was
yeah,
doing it, and the way they were saying it's because they got her and they opened up her stomach, and she was eating the people. And what they say is there's probably like a lack of food in the area for her, and she was finding a way to feed her kids. And once they get like on human, like game over.